Hello and welcome to another Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before I get anything to y'all, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature podcast. Nathan, I was at my local taxidermist this week, and
Yes.
I was getting, one of my mini animal stuff from like my all
Yeah.
the animals that I have just lying around, and
Yeah, it's like Norman Bates's motel in your home.
Yeah, it's a real Ed Gein type of place at my house. So
Yeah.
it's very. I don't even know if I should say that. Like I feel like
You had the
I,
FBI knocking on your door when the Daily Post.
no, my completely normal house.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Did
Yep.
I do it? I was just there admiring the work of the taxidermist. That's all I was there for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Hard work.
yes. Anyway, it's just like somebody's like, "Oh my God, like these animals are so lifeless." But not you guys, the
Wait, they're not
Patreon.
supposed to know who we are.
He was saying you guys need to check out the Patreon
Oh, okay.
of my favorite podcast. And he's like, Nathan Ryan, they're not lifeless, and and they have all kinds of fun games, conversations, just some good old fashioned clean fun over there.
hmm
And I hope Nathan and Ryan realize just how much we appreciate them. And Nathan was behind the corner and he said, I think they know.
Yep, I was there admiring the taxidermy as well.
Yes.
A real
But
Leatherface situation going on.
yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, yes, it is only $5 a month. It doesn't take any away from the irregular content. But today we are talking about 1988's Alice, which is directed by Jan Švankmajer. And this is a movie that I was made aware of because I have that book where it's like the 1001 movies you need to see before you die.
hmm
And this movie was listed as one of them. Um, Probably would have never heard of it had I not
Yeah.
read that book. So I really didn't know what to expect really. And it was just like, I knew it was before I watched it, I knew it was an Alice in Wonderland adaptation. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's just like a little weirder or whatever. And I wasn't sure. And I think I saw it like it aired on like I forget where I saw it. I watched it. I think it was on like TCM or something, or like or some like
Okay, that's kind of a weird pull.
it was on one of the like just channel like TV channels, and I it wasn't on like any. I
ABC
didn't have it at
Family.
DVD. It could have been for all I know, maybe a. So I did get to watch that one, and I remember just being like totally just like huh, like what, like because this movie is absurd in the fact that almost anything can happen.
Oh yeah, when you say like you call movies weird sometimes, like Inception. Like that's the weirdest movie I've ever seen. Just
You
kidding.
think Inception's weird?
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. I can't. It's such a mind boggler. But no, like this is like an actual weird movie. Like this is just like bizarre to watch. Like it's an art film, but not like you've seen art films that are just totally like they make no sense. This movie has a plot. What happens in that plot? Like you said, you will not know where this will be going next.
I mean, it does follow the Alice
Yeah,
in
that is
Wonderland
true.
story loosely. So, I mean, it does have like a lot of the familiar scenes, like in the movie, like the White Rabbit is there,
hmm
the Queen of Hearts, Mad Hatter, and Hare.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm gonna guess that you, like me, your Alice in Wonderland knowledge comes from the Disney movie, right?
I mean, I've seen other
Me
adaptations, but
too.
yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen the Tim Burton one, but I feel like the Disney one's the one that like I know. And it's funny, the like you said, the plot threads are there. I mean, like I knew like the the White Rabbit, and that leads into like the feed me, drink me, and like the Mad Hatter at the end of the movie. Like like you said, it does follow it loosely in a way.
Yeah, it does follow. There is some degree of familiarity in there, so it's not like you're
Completely
like
lost.
you're familiar enough with the story where like whenever you do see recognizable imagery, you're like, okay, like I realize I'm still in this Alice in Wonderland type of adaptation
Hmm.
versus this just being like a complete wild ride and you don't know what to, like if you never watched Alice in Wonderland, I guess you would just be like,
Ah,
huh? Like
I
what?
wonder what that would be like if this was like your first Alice in Wonderland movie, like mini Czech children, I'm guessing. And then like just like you would, I think you would be kind of lost in a way. I do think that familiarity helps you bridge this movie together a little bit. And it's honestly a little fun because you go, oh, that's this scene. That's what we're leading to here.
Yeah. And like I said, I watched the English dub of this movie originally, so I wanted to see it again. But really, it doesn't matter which version you watch because there's not a lot of talking in this one. It's very, very light on talking.
Yeah, I saw there was a dub, and I watched the subbed version, and I don't think you're gonna lose anything. Like it's all at one voice. It's on the little girl is the one who narrates the movie, and any time a creature talks, she talks for them. So very simple.
Yeah. Um, so it's a very minimalist movie on that aspect. Is there's only one human actor. Well, I guess two technically, but it's faceless. So it's like Alice's mother or whatever.
Yeah, and
Um,
whatever that was.
but it's pretty like, and all the rest of the characters are just stop motion figures. So how the movie starts, it starts originally how Alice in Wonderland starts, where Alice is playing, and then eventually she takes a nap, and then all of a sudden she wakes up and she sees a white rabbit. Now, and the Disney version, it's just like it's a little cute white rabbit with glasses and a cute outfit or whatever, and then it just moves away. And this one, it is a stuffed dead rabbit with like these horrific eyes and teeth.
Yeah, it's a the taxidermed rabbit, not even nicely. It is messed
But
up.
yeah, that rabbit was not treated well after death.
No, it's disgusting, but it works for the movie. It sets that tone immediately that this movie is kind of gross. Not like in like a gory, nasty way. It just feels grimy. The whole movie just
Yeah.
feels like a mess, and that's what he feels like because he has a big hole in him, and the sawdust inside of him keeps getting out and onto his stopwatch. He keeps on himself and then he like
Hmm.
licks it off the stopwatch every time, which is so gross. Like his insides literally like cleaning off his like watch.
Yeah, and it's weird because like they do imply that like sawdust is like his blood and his innards,
Mhm.
but then he does eat sawdust too.
Yeah, he eats like a bowl
Like
of it.
he's like a bowl of sawdust. And um so Alice watches this rabbit like put on his little like rabbit outfit and everything, and then she goes and follows it, and that's kind of where the movie takes off from there, and just all kinds of different scenery that happens in this movie. Like
Hmm.
when I say like anything can happen, like she walks over to this desk and she pulls out the desk and she's able to climb into the desk drawer, even though the drawer is clearly not the size of her. It's just like,
Yes.
oh, she just like crawls in there and she just like totally is fine. And then it takes her to like another world pretty much.
Yeah. And in a lot of scenes like that where she goes to the desk, it's stop motion, which the stop motion is not as clean as you'd expect. It is a very jumpy stop motion. It's very obvious.
No, and I mean it's very clear when they switch from stop motion to live action, but um I still admire it, like just for
Oh no.
how
I think it's great.
just just like the work that they put into it, and just the amount of details that they put in. Like, they do the scene with Alice, she does like the eat me, drink me type of thing.
Hmm.
And they never one thing I like about this movie is they seem like they use a lot of like household objects as like props and stuff. It's
Hmm.
never like anything mythical or anything like that. It's literally like what you would imagine like a kid would be like pretending to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what this movie gives off vibes up, because I mean, like, literally, there's that one scene where she digs through the desk and it's just like rulers and like
Protractor.
yeah, protractor stuff like that. No, it almost felt like an adventure in her own house is what I got out of it, because it's just like it's all based in rooms, like very small rooms, except for one part that's out in a field. There's like a part where she's like in a cupboard and like in a bedroom, and it felt like a kid using their imagination around their own house when they're bored.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the director was going for at the time,
Hmm.
is just was going for not so much like mythical and but just operating like this is a child's dream and there is no logic when people do have dreams, like anything could happen. So
Yeah, I
this
get
is
it.
theoretically what it would like.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
I guess he got really upset over all of the fantasy stories that Alice in Wonderland got, and like that's why he made this, because no one ever made it like he envisioned it.
Yeah, because I believe he said, this is how he interpreted Lewis Carroll's book, and how like no, I don't think it's like this little perfect wonderland with all this like whimsical stuff. It's like it's gonna be, this really weird stuff, and like nothing makes sense out there or anything. So
Yeah, and
um
it has that vibe. It's a freaky little movie. There's parts that, like, if I saw this as a kid, if someone sat down and made me watch this as a kid, I'd probably get scared. This movie would be like a turn, like I would don't think I could sit through it as a kid.
yeah, I mean there's some like violent scenes too in this. Like
Hmm.
there's one so Alice does like the eat me drink me type of thing where she like shrinks and then she gets big, and she ends up crying so much that
Hmm.
ends up filling up the room with her tear water, and then this little mouse um sails in on a boat and ends up like hammering stakes into her scalp,
Hmm.
and like just to start a fire, and she's like, "Oh no, you're not doing that."
Hmm.
And then later in the movie, I mean, this is jumping way ahead, you find that mouse and it, like, is dead in a mouse trap.
Yeah, it's a really striking, horrible visual. And that scene in particular, I thought was gross. There was something, because this movie doesn't use miniature sets; it's all in real like rooms, like full size rooms. And they fill up this room with this. It's the water's murky. The tears are like kind of brownish, and there's something about seeing her swimming in this nasty water filled up in a home that just is like so like disgusting to me. Yeah, and that scene goes on. This is a weird thought I have, and this probably feels stupid. Alice in Wonderland, this movie feels like an escape room movie. It feels like she gets into a room, has to figure out how to escape. She gets to another room, has to figure out how to escape. It's like literally escape room after escape room.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, it does. It's so weird. I was like, this is the origin right here. This is how escape rooms started.
No, escape room started from the escape room movie, Nathan. There
Oh,
was no
that's right.
escape rooms until the
That
escape room movie
movie.
came.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
movie was such a hit, it became a craze.
Oh, I mean, it got
Um,
a sequel somehow.
but yeah, no, I always like that it is like she's like little clever ways like she thinks of to get out of these situations. Like she ends up breaking into the rabbit's house,
Hmm.
and she's kind of like a jerk to the rabbit. Like the rabbit wants back in of his house,
Uh-huh.
and she's just like, "No, I'm not letting you," like holding the
Yeah.
door shut and everything, and like
Yeah, what is like the why does she do, was there any reason other than she's a kid as to why she does that? Because she wants to talk to the rabbit the whole time, and the rabbit's like, oh, I'm late, you know. And she's like, sir, please, the whole time. and
Please.
and then as soon as she could hang out with the rabbit, when the rabbit's like, you know, can you get my scissors or whatever, she's like, oh no, I hate this guy, I'm blocking
Well,
the door.
like she thinks it's, the rabbit thinks that she's Mary Ann
Yeah,
or whatever,
Marianne, yeah.
and it's yeah. So I think she's just more like afraid of this. That's kind of like the vibe I got. Is like she was kind of like afraid of the rabbit again. Maybe I don't know, but
I
like
don't know.
the the rabbit goes outside and starts throwing rocks at her, and I mean like again, and I'm like the scene they're doing like they're throwing. It looked like rocks or pebbles at this child.
I wouldn't
It's
be
like,
surprised.
and like she just has to like hold a pillow up in front of her face so they don't hit her face, and then
Yeah.
they get all the other like little animal friends to help out. The rabbit falls and crashes into glass, and a,
That
a
scene goes
gator.
on for so long. It's
It
cool though.
does.
It's cool. Like you said, the gator comes in. It's like a lizard with like a half a bone for a tail, and they get him to go in the chimney. And that's another violent scene because she kicks him and he goes flying and his insides come out.
Yeah, he's just like it's like his insides just burst open, and like they pick him up. They picked up his dead body, and it's just like completely lifeless. I mean, they do shove all the sawdust back in him, and he's fine. But
Yeah, but that's like this movie excels in those weird visuals and even like just like trick photography because I really like that scene because she eats a bit, she becomes bigger because she was a doll when she entered, so she fit into the rabbit's home. She got big in there, so she's too big for it. So it looks like a tiny, tiny little building and then a full-size head of her inside. I think it has some really cool like tricks to it.
yeah,
Mhm.
and like there's another scene too where there's all these socks like burrowing into like the hardwood floor,
That was
and
like so bizarre. I don't even know how you'd come up with something like that. Where it's like,
and
yeah, go ahead.
no, yeah, and then there's like the caterpillar comes out who's also a sock, and it has like this eyeball like attached to the sock, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now, and then starts like sewing its own eyes shut because it's
That was
gonna like that's
great.
how it sleeps.
Hmm. Just like full on creative thinking, because I guess that sock is supposed to be the hookah smoking caterpillar, but now they gave it
Yeah.
like dentures and everything. I don't know, that was cool. But yeah, there, God, another freaky visual I think would have freaked me out as a kid is they do catch her and then they make her into, because she turns into a doll and it's just like a regular like doll, but they make her a large doll and it's like her trapped inside of a doll's body, so you see this fake doll and her eyes are like looking all around inside, another like just odd and kind of scary visual.
Uh, Honestly, the scene that I thought was the most creepy
Hmm.
was the scene where she walks into a room and it's like this little toy house, and you just hear like this baby
Oh
crying,
yeah.
and you don't know what it is and like why it's doing that. And she's able to make the house grow, and she peeps in, and it's like the rabbit is like throwing like plates and pots at her, and then the rabbit eventually throws the baby at her, and it turns out it was a pig that can make
Yeah.
baby noises.
Yeah, that is just like, that is freaky. If you have you ever seen the movie Mad God that came out a few years ago?
No.
Completely stop motion movie. That movie is full of like things that shouldn't be crying like babies, cry like babies, and I think that is creepy. That is a freaky visual.
Yeah, it was that's freaky. And then this like taxidermy looking frog like comes out like wearing like a powdered wig,
Hmm.
and it's got like a cow tongue sticking out, so it looks like a giant frog tongue, and it's like going after this fly.
Yes, yeah. They love tongues in this movie because that's not the only time we see like a tongue like that.
Oh, see, then the white rabbit, yeah.
It might just be those two, but I don't know. You see their tongues a little bit.
And they always look very shiny too.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, God, and just everything. I don't know. It's such a unique movie. I don't visuals like that you don't get anywhere else, I don't think. Like there's weird art movies, but this one just like the taxidermied animals and all the weird objects and the grimy look. I seriously don't think you could get this anywhere else unless I watched this guy's other movies, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they do the other beats of the movie. Like, I like the Mad Hatter, the Hare and Mad Hatter scene where
Yeah.
it's like them drinking tea, and the Mad Hatter would drink like a cup of tea and say like, "I want a clean cup. Everyone move down one chair." And it's like they would all get up and move down. I like the way how the rabbit looked and the hare, how that one looked.
Yeah,
And
I like the visuals because it like had it under the table and you would see their like legs move under the table like the wooden puppet. I thought that was cool.
and then the rabbit would jump into like this like carriage for himself, like this wheeled carriage,
Yeah.
and then
So
wheel himself over to the chair.
and now that's a scene that's like like it's like the changing places goes on, but it fits with the movie because even Alice is sitting there like looking back and forth like what is going on?
Yeah. And I mean, we could go on all day about like the different visuals and stuff
Yeah,
because I
it's
mean,
just a weird movie. Yeah.
it's definitely one you should experience, but I do like so at the very end of the movie, that's where it actually gets to like the plot, really, like
Yeah,
because
which is so funny.
it does like the whole Queen of Hearts bit, and of course, this Queen of Hearts is literally like a playing card or like part of a playing card,
Hmm.
and she has an obsession with cutting off people's heads, and the rabbit is the executioner with a pair of scissors and just like snips everything.
Hmm.
And eventually, like she does get taken to court, and they're like basically like, you better defend yourself properly. And they even like the king is like the King of Hearts was like, you need to apologize for what you've done. She's like, no, I don't apologize for anything. And so then they really are going to kill her, but she's able to get away and make a run for it.
Yep. And then that's when the movie ends. Like pretty much there. I do like the bit where she's like, "Who am?" Or no, I think they say off with her head, and I think she says which one, and it quickly swaps between like every character from the movie as her head. So like the rabbit pops up as her head. I think the lizard. I thought
Hmm.
that was cool. But yeah, I thought that whole section of the movie was actually really cool. Like the whole card cutout, like it was actual cutout stop motion, and the courtroom scene, like you said. I think yeah, the little bit of plot we get, it works.
Yeah, and but when I say that, when I'm saying it's like, oh, this movie's plotless. I mean, you kind of know what like the Alice in Wonderland thing is, but like, I
Mhm.
just this movie is so interesting and neat to watch. Like, it doesn't really, I don't need to have characters talking like 24/7 or
No,
anything. And
it's a very engaging movie. I felt like I was always really into it.
definitely. And then at the end of the movie, what I kind of do like is that she wakes up from her nap and she's back in her bedroom. And we do see like some semblance that the movie did happen. Like you do see like the glass, like the white rabbit was and everything.
Hmm.
But she picks up the pair of scissors and she's basically just like, I guess I will cut off his head. So it's just like she was really the one controlling that whole dream that whole time. She
Hmm.
was aware and, or she was doing pretend whatever. So it's like, it's not like Alice in Wonderland where it's like, oh, that was all a dream. I can't believe I believe such a thing. It's like in this one, Alice is like, no, that was all me. Like
I
that's how I
yeah.
wanted the dream to go.
Yeah, I pretended that, which I mean, I think is a cool way to go about it. Better than Invaders from Mars. It was all a dream.
It was all a dream, and then all it was all a dream again.
Oh God.
But yeah, like I said, what just again can't say that this is a completely interesting, off the wall movie that I had a great time watching. It still is a movie, if you're a fan of like stop motion animation, if you love weird things, if you love just like creepy type of visuals, I mean, I definitely would say check out this movie. This is a pretty high recommend for me.
Yeah, if you like, I really enjoyed this one. Love the weird visuals. I thought it was just extremely creative. I think it's well worth checking out. I think, you know what? It being put on the 1001, it's a weird pick, but, it's cool. I feel like just to get something a little different on there, I think it works on that list.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. But Nathan, what are we going to talk about next week?
All right. So to start off next week, we are going to talk about House 2, the sequel to House, which we talked about a little bit ago. And that one is, sorry, I should say the full name, House 2, the second story. The second story, House 2. You're not laughing.
I don't get
Okay,
it. I
whatever.
don't, why is that?
Yeah,
Why is
well,
that funny?
it's not. I just like the title.
It is the
Uh,
second story. It's the
it,
second movie.
Yeah, it's the second. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's just good. I think more movies should be like, this is the second movie. That's like the subtitle.
I
Uh,
think, yeah, this is the three. This is like, I hope the next one's House 3. This is the third movie.
yeah, that would be good. But that one's streaming on Tubi. But Ryan, what are we going to be watching on Thursday? Cool.
Nathan, I'm going to ask you when we get to our Thursday episode to stay tuned because that is the name of our movie, Nathan, from 1992, the movie Stay Tuned, which is free on Tubi right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one.
Thank you. And if you have any thoughts and opinions, you can email us over at driveanddoubleFeature@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on the Patreon at patreon.com/Drive and Double Feature Podcast and check out the YouTube channel as well for Drive and Double Feature Podcast. But until next time.
Until next time.